Okay, this brings us to our first session, and it focuses on accessible cultural experiences, and we can look forward to two presentations that will shed light on the successful development of accessible cultural experiences from concept to marketing. And we will start with Friedrun Portele-Anyangbe. She is a spokesperson for accessibility and advisor for accessibility at the Stiftung Humboldt Forum in Berliner Schloss, and she is also part of the Humboldt Forum Service GmbH. The Humboldt Forum is the place where our keynote speaker of last year, Christy Dusel, said this is the most accessible place that she has ever been to and ever seen. And the Humboldt Forum, you can also see it in the Travel for All system, has put accessibility on top of their agenda, and Ms. Portele-Anyangbe will present their offerings to us now, and yeah, we look forward to your presentation, Ms. Portele-Anyangbe.
Thank you very much for the invitation. I'm glad to be able to speak here. My size is 1.68. I am full-sized, and I have a shining blue costume wearing today. Today it will be about the tactile guiding system. 3.2 billion have moved in 2025 around our premises. Some also crossed our doorsteps. Humboldt Forum is a place of many voices. It must be one of our objectives to have this place shaped ever more inclusively. We have 3 Baroque and 1 modern facade. The photograph that I have brought along shows the interplay between the facades and also the dome. Whoever might be interested, may have a first touch and feel model on this ground up there. It's a new construction, yes, but we have wheelchair usable floors, tactile serve elements, visual indications of the levels, and so on. But as to the content, until 2018 there was practically only vague ideas floating around, and that's where I want to start today. Because the first task was, what is so interesting about the Humboldt Forum? The first focus group with which we worked was composed of members of the General Association of the Blind and Visually Impaired, and especially it was about the dome and the decoration of the facade, because the public was passionately debating about this. And that's how the idea came up to develop a tactile book for the history of this building. These are touching hands from the monastery to the Humboldt Forum in a very contrast-rich and also in braille letters. You can feel your way around. In many meetings we ventured ideas and ventilated ideas to exchange also ideas. We also used so-called Schwellkopierer. These is paper that is tactile, and we also had in this focus groups members of the ADSV, but also people from the Advisory Council of the Foundation, and the Inco Design took care of the design. Then the other idea was, how can we use stations for the second and third museums, the collections of the Ethnological Museum and the Museum for Asian Art. What you can see on this slide is a design for such a tactile station that was created by Werk 5. It's a roll-under table, and then you have also a slightly sloping plate. This is the quick touch line with all touch points. It's structured equally. Imagine this. It's an immense building so many challenges to get your way around. At least in the tactile stations, we wanted a unified design. In this case, it's a hand symbol, so the message is, you may touch this. So, for example, the message is, this is a tomb in the Taj Mahal, and a media tactile QR code, and also a sort of a bay to move under this table, a three-dimensional model of the monument, sepulchral monument, and then you see a variety of options on how to use the original exhibits. This is a visual relief and then a more detailed presentation of an ornament, the Pietra Dura ornament, all parts of this sepulchral monument. All these titles are both in profile and in braille scripture. The original model is so sensitive to light. It's paper that can be shown only for just a few minutes per hour because it can be damaged by light, while the tactile model is open at all times. Looking further, well, something on the material. The Humboldt Forum was opened during the corona pandemic, and the idea was to use original materials to enable tactile experience, but the hygiene aspect is took the foreground during the pandemic. We have now the Furia, which normally is used in kitchens, which is great. It's easy to clean. It is fairly solid, but it allows only a very limited choice of colors, things that are fit for the kitchen. You have a photographic model. It's always about creating a proximity to the original. The hull is made of corian and a textile that is known from the medical sphere. Again, hygiene aspects have been taken into consideration. The next slide shows you the roof terrace, a look towards Gendarmenmarkt, one of the most popular places in the Humboldt Forum. The idea was that through tactile reliefs in bronze, you can feel the things that can be seen, as exemplified here. You see the Berlin Cathedral, the Museum Island, and the German Historic Museum. But not only do we have these tactile reliefs, but also a model of the Humboldt Forum and also a model of the Great Stupa. So both the buildings and also a tactile model that can be touched in the out-of-door area. Throughout the building you will find historic traces. In the past, it was the Palace of the Republic, the GDR Republic. There is a huge relief by Julie Jastra. You can also recognize it here. The interesting thing, we talked with focus groups about this. How can we create this very demanding picture, a sort of hurly-burly picture, which is too much of a demand for the non-seeing or for people with limited perception? This Wimmelbild, as we call it also in English. So to find your orientation, well, there is an audio description starting from the woman on top of everybody else who shines above everybody else. So for the next slide, well, this is an example of an audio description. I'm going to read it out because I think it'll be easier just to click in. If you take a look at this, you will end up in the media guide with the audio description. And here it's looking into the foe. You stand in front of the railing. You see the foyer. It is the reception room and an event space. The four-story room is surrounded by a glass rooftop. And the upper windows are in correspondence to the plates, the stone plates on the ground floor. We have open galleries around the room. Three sides of this ample space are presenting themselves in geometric, sober architectural forms. The fourth wall, however, directly has a Baroque appearance. The reconstructed portal to the courtyard covers the entire front wall. It is reminding you of an antique triumph arch. More than 12 meters high portals are standing on the side of the portals. Over the medium arcs, you have two winged female figures with a ribbon with a gold inscription praising King Friedrich Wilhelm I. This will be read out by professional speakers and will certainly be more convenient and more pleasant to listen to. Very important are these individual offers accessible? After all, in the lobby and also in the staircase, we have a tactile floor guiding system. These are plastic ribs or points, either in white or black. This photograph shows it. It's a glance into the stairwell in the third upper floor with monumental statues of the Brandenburg electors, and in between you have this black ribbon, a guiding system on the floor, which brings you to another elector. The slogan of the Humboldt Forum is it's more than a museum. It's not only about presenting exhibitions. We have also a broad range of events for blind and hard of hearing, and we have readings and talk formats. This slide shows a blue open-air floor stage with an enthusiastic audience, and a huge banner highlights the international music festivals, Durchlüften. But it's still a huge building site. We still need a concept how events can be presented in a more accessible and more inclusive manner. Beside the permanent exhibitions, we have temporary exhibitions. Here just one example, a tactile and scent station on the exhibition of the Palace of the Republic, shown in 2024-2025. So this motto was a scent station. You could sense the smell of what it was like breathing in the Palace of the Republic. It's a challenge to offer something for all the temporary exhibitions. Of course, we do have guided tours and workshops in the Humboldt Forum. This photo dates back to 2018 in the preparatory phase. It's a student touching around her way with this walking stick. Well, we have so many cultural players active, but all those guides offer also tactile and auditory guided tours. What about communication? Well, you have met this gentleman here, Mr. Dusel, laughing in front of a green screen with transparent braille points. This was just before the pandemic. What the Humboldt Forum had been developing and was planning to develop. That was one event, one form of communication. At present, we are in the process of adopting the labeling for all certification. The website, which at the beginning had certain help received by programmers that were themselves limited in the visual and hearing capabilities. It needs to be updated, it needs to be improved and streamlined. and accessibility will be nudged up significantly. One project that has nothing to do with the tactile station, but I need to promote this with great urgency, because with the foundation Life for All, and we also are in contact with the Association for the Disabled in Brandenburg, a toilet for all. This is a program which can be used even outside of the opening hours until midnight. So the regional association is on the lookout for other places where they can establish a toilet for all, especially in Berlin and in northern Germany. The provision of such toilets for all is very limited. So we wanted to highlight this offer and this initiative inside the Humboldt Forum. If you are interested to share your ideas, turn to the Landesverband der Behinderten in Brandenburg. That's it. Thank you.